All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's doing great. Welcome, Jefferson. Big J, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing tonight?
Good. And I think we've got our update that Jefferson here edited, so we're gonna pull that up in another screen here. Oop.
That's awesome. Yeah, I spent some of the day editing that, and I tell you, I got in the weeds on some parts. I'm one of those people that when I'm working on a project, and it could be anything, not just video editing, but the OCD will kick in a little bit, and it's like I want to just do that. Okay, wait a minute, let me change this. Let me make this a second longer. Move this clip here and that clip there. You know how that is. You know how it gets when you get into it and you just start trying to, fine tune every little thing.
Oh, here. Okay, so
Axanar update. That's right. 10 years ago this month, Prelude to Axanar was released at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's been a pretty wild ride over the last 10 years. We did a great job with the help of all you fans, raising over $1 million to make the Axanar movie, which, of course, CBS and Paramount shut down and forced us into a settlement agreement, which was actually pretty good because we get to make 2 more episodes of Axanar, which I am very happy to announce are in post-production now. We have wrapped principal photography. We have 19 actors, and it is absolutely amazing. You will be blown away. We have a rough edit already assembled while the VFX are being finished, and everyone who has seen it absolutely loves what we've done. It is the next 2 episodes in the 4 Years War documentary. So Prelude to Axanar, which was episode 3, is followed by The Gathering Storm, which is episode 4, and Crucible, which is episode 5. And that trilogy will tell the entire story of Garth of Izar and the 4 Years War. And it is really amazing. I am so excited, as most of the people who've been working on this project, and we have just the most amazing crew who have been dedicated all these years to finishing it. Now, when we settled with CBS in 2017, we moved this studio across the country. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, on the set of the USS Ares, which is really amazing. And Dana Wagner and his crew took 2 years to finish this set. And when we brought it here, it was basically a wooden husk, all built out, but not at all painted or finished, or there were no screens, there was no computer monitors, there was nothing. And Dana and his team over the next 2 years finished everything to what you see here. We have working monitors. We have TV screens for the upper monitors. We have these beautiful plexi panels that every single panel in here is designed and built for that station. So it is really amazing. So where are we with Axanar? So we're in post-production. That means right now the VFX team is finishing all the space shots, and there are almost 70 shots that are being made for the next 2 episodes. In addition, we have another team that's working on all the green screen work, all the interviews that are done on green screen. Now, some of them were done here on the bridge. Some of them were done green screen. That is all being composited, and backgrounds are being built, led by Dana and his team again. And so it is just the work going into it is accelerating. So we're really hoping to get this out a fall of this year. And I know that's only 3 or 4 months away, and you will be blown away. Hopefully, everyone is going to see what we release and say, okay, that was worth the wait. But thank you very much. And we especially want to thank Dave Lanyon and Goodney Goodnesson, our 2 benefactors and executive producers, who basically swooped in a little over a year and a half ago and said, hey, we're going to give you guys the money to finish this project. They were so taken with it. So thanks to Dave and Goodney, everything was able to happen. We were able to get 3 more film shoots done. We did probably over a dozen actors over the course of this past year, and you will absolutely be blown away by the results. So listen, thank you once again for all your patience. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter on the Axanar website. Follow our YouTube channel. Of course, subscribe and hit that notification icon, and we will keep you informed about everything happening here at the Final Frontier. So once again, thank you for your support, and live long and prosper.
And that's what I was working on today. I hope it turned out okay.
No, man, I think it turned out great. That was, a lot of times with updates, it was just me talking, but the B-roll it was so obvious when the first time I watched the video after it was sent to me, I was like, B-roll, B-roll, B-roll. And so, so it was great. So good job on that. That's really good. Jumping
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah, great job. Jumping in the live stream. There's Jim's Landscape LLC #1. How are you doing? Brian Simpson. Hail, Brian. I hope you're doing well. Frank, our good buddy Frank Parker. Frank, great looking shoot. You had this past weekend? I saw the photos that Josh Irwin posted, and I was like, immediately was like, wow, Rachel Garrett. Good job. That wig looked amazing. They did the Enterprise C.
So it was good casting there and a good look.
Yeah. Although, Frank, you and I are going to talk about your chairs. We're going to have that. That's the next thing that you're going to upgrade. And, I'm very excited because, legendarily, Star Trek used Recaro. Recaro is the famous car seat maker. They use Recaro seats. As a matter of fact, I remember cleaning out one of their warehouses, and there was a box with the 2 seats from the DS9 Runabout. They were based on Recaro seats, of course. So anyway, and those would have looked great for you, Frank. So we're going to work on that. Let's see what else we got besides those two guys, those two blabbermouths. What do we all think about Section 31 trailer? Yeah, all right. Well, I wait and see. We'll see. Who knows? The trailers tell you nothing. Absolutely nothing. You've got to wait and see the movie. They're meant to excite you.
It looked okay to me. The only thing that really jumped out at me, and I'm not sure what I would do with this or how I would fix it, but the music just didn't do it for me. I'm not sure what audience they're gearing the trailer music to. And I know that any film, whether it's a movie, a trailer, TV show, all of it, that the music can be an important part of it. And for this trailer of Section 31, it didn't fit. Now, I'm not going to say that it's not Star Trek. I don't want to be one of those people, but I just felt like of all the choices that could have been made, this didn't seem like it was it.
Yeah. Sarabra says, what are episodes 1 and 2? There are no episodes 1 and 2 of Axnar, because basically Prelude to Axnar was meant to be a one-shot. It was a conceit that it was part of a series of documentaries, right?
Right.
And so when we were doing it, I was sitting in the editing room with Rob, and we were working on the title. And I said, we working through the title, and it was like Prelude to Axnar. And I was like, well, we need a master title for like this series, because we grew up on The World at War, which is a famous BBC channel series about World War II, narrated by Laurence Olivier. So I said, the 4 Years' War, episode 4, Prelude to Axanar. I go, no, we can't do episode 4. That's like Star Wars. I said episode 3 with you. And he was like, okay, fine. And so that's how it came about. It was like an editing room thing. So when CBS and Paramount said we could only make 2 more 15-minute episodes, the logical thing to do was to make episodes 4 and 5 and tell the story of Axanar in 2 more episodes. Of course, Rob Burnett and Bill Hunt wanted to do like the first 30 minutes of the movie. And I was like, why? Why? And they wanted to do it for their resume. They didn't care about what the fans wanted. And I had done a poll at the time that's still on our site, and it was something like 694 to 6. I mean, to do 2 more episodes and tell the story, and that was never an issue.
Not just the first part of a movie.
Yeah, who wants the first 30 minutes of a movie? That's absurd. So anyway, so that's kind of what. So there is no episodes 1 and 2, and realistically, I thought about it over and over, like, oh, well, maybe we'll go back and do episodes 1 and 2. I'm going, yeah, but Prelude to Axanar kind of covered everything. I mean, if you're doing episodes 1 and 2, they would almost have to be like what happened leading up to Arcanus, right?
Right.
That's a half hour of exposition about, I mean, maybe you talk about the diplomatic efforts, maybe you talk about, the growth of the Federation, but it's really not the 4 Years' War. So anyway, so there you go. Long, so Robert, there's a long answer to your question there.
Episode 3 is more of this. This is where the good stuff starts. Whereas episodes 1 and 2 kind of imply that's more lead up and exposition, which is probably not the most exciting part.
Yeah.
You get into the meat of the story. It's kind of like with the prequel trilogy with Star Wars, is that the good one was episode 3, maybe 2. 1, just there was so much build up that had to happen, and so much exposition that in hindsight, and this is just my opinion, that it wasn't that good. It was all politics and a bunch of walking and talking. So it wasn't really the good stuff. So if you're going to start somewhere and let's say with the story that you're telling, picking up right there where you did, I think episode 3 was the right call to make.
Let's see. Brian asked, did I lose an argument? Yeah, I lost an argument at Crystal and she knocked me out. No, that's actually, we had a cat, and in trying to transport a cat, it like totally scratched me up, and it scratched me here. I actually have a cut under the eye.
Ow.
Yeah. And it just gave me a black eye. So,
oh man, you're gonna have to get like some hockey pads or a big mask.
And it wasn't even a feral cat. That's the thing. It was, but sometimes you got to be careful. Cats don't, they don't want to do what they don't want to do. When you're trying to load them into a crate, they can put up a fight. So typically what we do is, and the way we got that one is you grab it with a blanket and it kind of swaddles them and settles them down and put that in it. So anyway, there you go, Brian. Yeah, I've been joking with Crystal and said, I'm just gonna tell people I'm in the so yeah. So there you go. To a certain group of people who knows who they are. Yeah, you think Crystal's such a pushover? Go ahead, try it with me. I wouldn't have been assaulted at Dragon Con by that hater Sean O'Halloran if Crystal had been there, because Crystal would have kicked the shit out of him.
I would love to have seen that. That would have been very interesting.
Yeah,
yes.
He
would have had more than an ouchie finger, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you do. Crystal's a kickboxer too. She took
really?
Oh yeah, she took martial arts for years. Yeah, don't fuck with her.
Gotcha.
So there you go, sir. So Steel Wolf says, so rather than an hour and a half to 2 hour movie, where it was never more than 90 minutes. It was right around 100 pages. And hobbled by no more than 2 15-minute shows. Like, okay. Yeah, so that's exactly what you're going to get. You're basically going to get, it's going to come out to about 50 minutes, because Prelude's 21 minutes, another half hour, you're talking about 50 minutes. For a trilogy of short films, I think, I always remember when people were like, oh, you can't tell a story in a half hour. And I'm like, oh, really? The Vulcan scene was 3 minutes.
Sure,
3
you
minutes. Tell me you didn't see a great, compelling story in 3 minutes. So that's bullshit. My other thing is, stop fucking whining. It's like, I get that all the time. Well, you promised us a movie. Yeah, well, CBS and Paramount had other things to say about that. And if you can't follow, just shut up and take what we give you, because we've been working for 10 years on this thing, for Christ's sake.
And I can tell you guys that the story is accomplished and done well when you take episode 3.
Seen the rough edits.
I watched the rough edit of episodes 4 and 5 today, was very impressed. And I can tell you that, yes, a story is told here. It's not like it's, it ends up being an incoherent piece of the bigger picture. And I really enjoyed watching it. Now, at first I was hesitant to watch it, because I'm one of those people. It's like, I don't want to see it till it's done, until it's up there with everything. But I had to get some B-roll from episode 4 to put into the update video. And I was thinking, okay, I can either scrub through real quick and just find, like, I knew what I needed. It was just finding it. Or I can go ahead and watch episode 4 and watch episode 5. And I said, what the hell? I'll go ahead and watch it. And yes, I was very honored to have had a chance to watch it. I was really impressed by it. I was wowed by the talent that you got to do it. And I'm really trying to think a second ahead so I don't spoil anything, and just kind of speak more generically. But the folks out there watching, listening, I've seen episodes 4 and 5 of the long-awaited Axnar film, the 2 15-minute films. It's very good. You're going to be excited. This is something to look forward to. I'm actually going to try not to watch it again so that I can wait till it's done instead of spoiling myself and then watching it another time. But
listen, here's the other thing. How many times have you watched Prelude to Axnar?
Oh, probably 4 or 5 easily.
Yeah, and you're on the low end because you came to it late. I mean, there are
Right.
people who have watched it 100 times, right?
Right. Well, I watched it when it first premiered. So back in the day, I
there
watched
you
that
go.
time. So yeah, when it first came out, I saw it then. And I know just between then and now, there's been at least 3 or 4 other viewings.
Listen, there's a reason we watch movies over and over.
Yeah.
So I enjoy. I mean, I'm enjoying the process because every time, like, we just got more VFX, which Mark is dropping in to the edit. So next week we'll have a brand new edit, not a new edit, but an edit with updated effects. He just dropped in Admiral Kovalenko, the Nadia, the girl Nadia who was in Blue. He just dropped that in. So it's going to change. It's going to be added to. Dana's working away on the backgrounds. He just finished the Klingon one. He's working. It was interesting. He told me, he said, because we said there are 3 backgrounds that need to be done for compositing. The Hall of the Immortals on Kronos.
Yep.
Starbase 1 for the Terrans, and Surak Station for the Vulcans. And he said to me today, he said, that's not 3 backgrounds. That's 2 backgrounds. He said Starbase 1 and Surak Station are the same. Surak Station just has an orange filter on it. And I go, really?
Oh, really?
I said, I never knew that. And he said, yeah. He said, look at it and you'll see. I said, oh my God. So anyway, that's really interesting.
That is, I never knew that. And I didn't catch that.
Yeah, now I got to go back and watch it and say, okay, because it looks really good. It looks like you're over Vulcan. So anyway, that's all coming together. So it's we've got some insert shots we're putting together for next month, which is going to be really exciting. And yeah, things are going going well. Let me just say, Marta of Orion, you missed it. I had a cat incident, an escaped cat. We were trying to put it in a crate, and it was a friendly cat, believe it or not. And it did not want to go in, and just caught me as I was grabbing.
Now, for anyone thinking that, okay, it was just a cat, how bad can it be? Let me tell you, I've seen a video of a cat take a swipe at an alligator's nose, just bat it away. Video to a cat took a swing at a bear. Cats do not play around. They don't care. They will face up on anything.
Yeah.
So that's, I give cats as much clearance as they need, because when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter how big you are or what you are, they will take a swing at you.
Yeah.
And then the alligator went back into the water too.
Steel Wolf, no, I did not think you were whining, so no issue. Don't worry about that, my friend. I was talking about other people I read on Kickstarter, and I read the comments and it's like, oh God, just shut up. So no sweat. I have not seen Twister. Have you seen Twisters yet?
No, I haven't. I'm probably going to see that soon.
That's not what I'm going to go to the movies for.
Yeah, that's one I would wait for when it's on streaming. That's not with the cost of movies at the movie theater. I'm really selective on what I'll go
and
pay
it's
to
not
see.
And it's not even the tickets. We spend more. I mean, just 2 of us spend more on food than we do on our tickets. I think we went to the matinee for Deadpool.
Yep.
Our tickets were maybe $15.
The snacks and treats are where they get you. That's where they get
You
you.
spent $46. She had a hot dog and fries, and I had a pretzel, and the pretzel was $10.
You've got to sneak food in. You've got to stop at the grocery store or convenience store close to the theater, put some stuff.
If you're just having candy, absolutely. I will say this theater, which was in Athens, had really good hot food, like hamburgers and hot dogs and all that stuff. My pretzel was awesome. I mean, not $10 awesome, but whatever. And the theater had this, it had the big stadium seat, the recliners and everything. So, okay, it cost us $65, $70, maybe it cost us $70 for a night out. We don't have kids, so all right, and we get our cat food for practically nothing. So that's
true. Yeah, true caveat there. We don't have kids, so yeah, that's not bad for a night out.
Yeah, it was a big pretzel, Japham. It was one of those big Bavarian pretzels,
size of a hubcap.
It wasn't the biggest one I've seen, and I love pretzels. I'm from New York. I love pretzels. Like pretzel on the street in New York is the best thing. Almost as good as the dirty water dogs the hot dogs they sell.
Right.
So, I'm the guy that goes to there's a German place here in Atlanta, and we always go there during Dragon Con, and they have one of those big ass pretzels. It's really for two people at least. I always get one of those, and it's pure carbs, but hey, it's Dragon Con. Who cares? So there you go. But hey, we got a good crowd, over 40. Hey, thanks everyone for turning out. We're going to make sure we keep, since some of you are coming and going, we'll make sure we keep touching base. So hopefully you all checked out the update video that Jefferson here put together and did a great job. He sent me about 4 edits today. We were going back and forth. I was making corrections, little things, but he did a great job. So thanks, Jeff, for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Appreciate it.
And that's like the first update we've done in like a year. And part of that's because I don't know, part of that's because we do these live streams so often. I kind of almost feel like we don't need to post the update. But we had the ability to do it, and we rattled off a bunch of BTS stuff. Tomorrow you and I can work, or this weekend we'll work on another one of the other ones. But hopefully you guys watch the update video. That scene, I'm just going to say the scene with Crystal in it. I'm not even going to tell everyone who everyone else is, but the scene where you rack focus from the pilot to the captain.
Yes.
That's Crystal. And Crystal was, Crystal's like, look, I want an Axanar. And she said, just put me in the background. I just want to be a background actor. I said, I don't need lines. So, okay. So, we did that. I said, we had to shoot each different captain for the end of for a reason, the way we do it in the end.
Yeah.
So I said, and we were trying to figure out good ways to shoot it. And I said, okay. I said, this is how I want that. I told Mark, I said, this is how I want that shot. I said, it's going to be shot from in front of the pilot's console. I said, the captain's Sonya's going to be in the back left. And then you're going to have Crystal in the front. You're going to start on Crystal and then rack focus to the captain, who's going to be, doing something in there. And we said, okay, and we shot it, and it is perfect. I was telling Josh Irwin a little earlier, I said, it's a Josh Irwin shot, because Josh does such an amazing job on the TOS bridge. When he shoots TOS bridge, he's got the lighting right. He knows how to he knows where to set people up. His bridge stuff is amazing. And so I told Josh, hey, it was a Josh Irwin shot. And so that one, hopefully you guys enjoyed that.
It was a good shot. And that one was done during the principal photography wrap, because I was there when that shot was being done. And I remember thinking, okay, I can't wait to see the context of the shot, just to see where it fits in the whole thing. And then to see the context of how that scene plays out was, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And so it was a good shot, and how it's used is great, which was pretty cool. But yeah, you're right. That is, and you don't see little things like that a whole lot in these films. And there are a lot of great fan films out there with a lot of great filming and shots. It's nice to see something different like that you might take for granted in other productions, but it was very well done.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good stuff, and we also show you one of the scenes you'll see in the trailer of the Ares class. So there's stuff coming out. I just saw, a matter of fact, I haven't even reviewed a bunch of previs that just hit my desk. I saw some stuff that came over this morning that was great. Some massive Klingon fleet shots. That's what's going to get in the edit. There's so much good stuff. I've got to give credits to the VFX teams.
They're doing a good job from the previs that I had seen. They're really knocking it out.
Yeah. So you guys, we have a teaser trailer coming out next month. Now that teaser trailer is mostly visual effects with a voiceover, and that's all I'm going to say. But it's a nice little piece, like get you fired up. That's the whole purpose of a teaser trailer. So take a look at that. That when that comes out, then we'll be, once we get more or less close to a finished product, then we'll do the full trailer. I haven't even thought about what that full trailer is going to be. I have one thing I want to go with, but we'll see. But making a trailer is just a big feat in and of itself. So there's Alexander is there. How are you doing? Good to see you. Alexander was working on thumbnails for us today. So thanks to Alexander.
Yeah. Thanks for the thumbnails, Alexander. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, all good. There's Donnie. How are you, Don? Yes. Greg Kinn and Peter Marshall both passed away. Greg Kinn from Greg Kinn Band, which was big in the 80s. Peter Marshall was the former host of Hollywood Squares. So, yeah. But again, Greg Kinn, I don't know how old he was, but Peter Marshall was like 94 or something. So,
oh, really?
Again, people are living a long time these days. So if you take care of yourself, that shirt is looking kind of baggy on you, talking about taking care of yourself.
Yeah, the shirts I've gotten a little baggy. January was when I had the gastric sleeve procedure done, lost 120 pounds since then. Well, that first 100, 110 or so happened pretty quickly. But then I got to about 120 lost and have held steady around there. And, I've steadily gotten some new things, had to get some new work shirts, things like that. But I'm looking at my closet full of Star Trek shirts and just thinking, I probably should get a couple smaller sizes or something. But, they tell you that before you do something like that, that it ends up being just in clothing can get kind of pricey because your clothes don't fit anymore. And they're right. They had to get some new pants, some new shirts, things like that. But yeah, thank you. So that's been going pretty well. And just it's been an adjustment with just how little you can eat at one time, which I know now is more of the correct portions, but we're so used to overeating that it's more of a norm for us. Like right now, there was a time where I could eat a foot-long Subway sandwich, just to give you a point of reference. Foot-long sub, no problem, without blinking an eye. Now, a 6-inch would be a challenge, like a challenge.
Oh, wow.
It would probably take a whole day picking at it to get through that. And
Wow.
That is a very tough adjustment to make. It's just, wow. Like,
I
yeah, this
bet
is
it
good.
is.
I want to eat it, but I can't.
Yeah. Well, I have been on a baking spree lately. I've been learning. Basically learning how to cook. Learning how to bake at least. This is my latest creation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is a lemon loaf. Yeah, which is let me.
That looks good.
Stop that one here it is finished.
Oh, that looks good.
And let me tell you, it uses almond flour. The loaf uses 3 scoops of protein powder plus 1 scoop of protein powder in the icing. It uses yogurt. The only fats in it really are you use a 1/4 cup of whipped butter, light butter, which is like whipped butter. And 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, which is really healthy. So it's super healthy, super low carb. It's and I have it on the plate. I didn't eat the whole thing. I just had a slice, and then I had it there with my eggs, which Crystal taught me how right before she punched me out. Crystal taught me how she's gonna get some. I'm sure
I will tell you once how to make these eggs.
She taught me how to make eggs in a mug, which I didn't know anything about. She says, "Yeah, just put it in a mug and microwave it." I go, "Really?" So so you put 2 eggs. I cracked 2 eggs. I put them in a mug. You put a little bit of dairy in there. Whip it all up. Well, microwave is like a minute, 2 minutes max. Do it 30 seconds at a time and then stir it with it. So there's my eggs, and I had a little, so this lemon bread was really, really good. And so there you go.
Oh, that sounds good. And that's the big thing is anything breads, that's I've got to really do even smaller portions of, because the problem is that you've got a smaller area to put things in.
Yes.
And so things like bread, rice, carbs, anything that can expand takes up more room than you have. So it's like you really have to watch letting something occupy more room than it should, because if you've only got 5 bites of something to eat, you don't want 2 of that to be taken up by a freaking piece of bread.
No,
but
you need to get your protein intake.
There's a lot of protein shakes. I've got protein powder that I'll put in. One of these. Sometimes I'll fill this up with some milk, put protein powder in. But the other thing I've got is the protein chips, the Quest protein chips.
Do you like those?
Yeah, those are really good. And these protein bars, I'm drawing a blank on the brand of those, but
you got to be careful with protein bars, because it is so hard to find a decent protein bar. They all claim they're great, but when you look at the ingredients, there's so much shit in them. I really don't use protein bars unless I'm like driving and I'm on the road, just because there's just so much crap in them. So just be careful about them.
And Amazon's got this subscribe and save. So with things that you're going to get regularly, that's a good deal. And so there's a couple things that I got that way, because I figure, why not? It's something regular that I'm going to have coming. Power Crunch protein.
Oh yeah,
that's the brand. Have you heard of that?
Wafer ones.
The wafers.
The mint chocolate chip ones. Yeah, those are. And that's good, because something like that I treat like a snack, like almost a dessert. It's like, okay, this is like cheating, but it's low carb, reasonably low carb, and got protein. So that's all good. Chief Cook asked when the movie is coming out. The next 2 episodes are coming out hopefully this fall. I mean, I know I hoped to get them out this summer, and that slid, but it slid because, listen, I've said, and I believe it. I said it to Dave Lanyon, and I said it to Goodney, and Goodney gets it. I think they're both understanding. I said the saying in Hollywood is you can have it fast, you can have it cheap, or you can have it good. Pick 2.
Right.
You can only have 2, and we do it cheap and we do it good. That means it's going to take time, because I mean Mark Lewis is working for free. Dana is working for free. I'm working for free. Everyone's got lives, so it's not happening as fast as you'd like. And fans out there, I'm sorry, it's but we're not going to release anything until it's freaking awesome. By the way, let me also say, so stay tuned. Hopefully I'm hoping
it's going to be there, people. It's going to be there. Yeah. I watched it. It's there. It's happening. Give it a little time.
I mean, we got visual effects, sound design, music. Those are the things that have the compositing of all the green screens. So it's going to take a little time. I'm excited though. We are also relaunching the store. I am really close to being finished, ready to launch it. And there'll be an email going out tomorrow, because we're going to need people to go and buy stuff and beta test it. Because people keep saying, I need this, where the store's closed. Relax. Got you covered. and it's on a new store on Shopify, which is really a lot of fun. So, and we're also going to be hosting, going to be selling the world famous Master Systems displays from Alexander Richardson. He had a whole bunch of them that, of course, CBS made Etsy take down. So we're like, okay, well, and he's not selling the Enterprise, right? He's selling other ships that they don't have.
Right.
So there you go. We're going to be selling those too. And they're going to be big and awesome. And they'll be very limited. We'll do them like one ship at a time. And they'll be big, beautiful,
Nice.
probably like G-clays, something really nice that you'll love to get framed and put on your wall.
Right.
But that's kind of the idea. Let's see. Yeah, well, we get you. By the way, Deadpool and Wolverine passed $1 billion.
$1 billion.
And it's about to pass. So it passed Oppenheimer, and it's about to pass Joker. I didn't know this, but Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time, which is about to be second highest grossing because Wolverine and Deadpool is about to pass it. So let's see what else we got here. I'll let Jefferson say. Jefferson, do you think it's the same quality as Prelude?
Yes. And that's the other thing. I think that's a very good point that you're making there is you want the quality to be on par, if not better, than what came before it. So you can't have something like Prelude. So Prelude set the bar as to what the quality and look was going to be. And the thing is that you can't shortcut that. You can't have it suddenly go down in regards to the quality. And that's one of the things that I can tell you is that quality wise, that yes, it's a coherent, like there's not, which I know can be kind of a risk when there's a lot of time in between different things because technology changes, resolutions change, capabilities of cameras, equipment, et cetera, et cetera.
Unfortunately, that's worked in our favor, I think.
Yes.
Just because, I mean, the cameras are cheaper and, we've got everyone. I mean, listen, when we did Prelude, I think or Rob cut it on Final Cut 7, which is what I learned to edit on. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess there's still Final Cut around, but everyone's using either Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, right? And which are way better programs. So yeah, a lot of good there. Let me do. What if Amazon reached out to Air Studio and said they're interested in hosting Axnar? Yeah, we love it. The problem is we couldn't do anything like that because that's a commercial endeavor and CBS and Paramount on it. Speaking of CBS and Paramount, what's happening there? Well,
let's hear it.
Yeah. So, okay. So the unconfirmed rumor is what Doomcock posted about on, I believe that was Wednesday, or maybe it was Wednesday, that Skydance called a meeting with Kurtzman's team about Star Trek, and ostensibly not happy. All unconfirmed rumors. We don't know what's happening. I have heard from another source that Kurtzman and Skydance they're not sleeping together. Let's just say there's a divergence in the.
So Kurtzman may be out.
Kurtzman was not involved in Star Trek Beyond, which is what Skydance was involved in, right?
Right.
When they come out. So obviously, the thing is that Paramount has a contract with Kurtzman, and just because Skydance comes in doesn't eliminate that contract. So they would have to, they would have to renegotiate or whatever. So who knows? But certainly Paramount can greenlight or not greenlight things. So it would be really interesting to see. I mean, and I think everyone is looking at Starfleet Academy and going, So
just for the layman, if you know this or not, but why would they have to honor his contract if it was made by Paramount and Skydance?
Because
Paramount?
Yeah, because and this is a legal issue. So Paramount has the contract
Right.
with Kurtzman. Okay, so the contract is between Paramount and Secret Hideout. That's Kurtzman's company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, that's it. So now Skydance comes in and buys Paramount. That doesn't eliminate all the contracts that already exist with Paramount, right? That does. The only way that would happen, which doesn't happen in companies like that, happens in very, very small companies, is if you come in and buy the assets. So say that Skydance came in and said, we're going to buy your assets for X.
Right.
Well, Paramount goes away. Paramount Corporation goes away because they sell everything, and Paramount has nothing and is basically an empty shell.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, those contracts are worthless because there's a new owner. That's not what's happening. Skydance is taking over Paramount, and thus they have all those business. Everything remains the same. Now, they can make business decisions. No, we're not going to greenlight any of that shit. Or that's fine. You may have had this develop, but you know what? We don't want any more Star Trek from you. We want you to do horror films, whatever. I don't know.
So they have a contract, but they could just say no or whatever.
Well, it all depends on the contract. I don't know anything about
it. They don't have to greenlight any of the Star Trek stuff.
I don't know anything.
Gotcha.
I really don't know anything. I think the thing that we're going to see is that CBS and Paramount, one, this goes to the other news. The other news is that Paramount this week dissolved Paramount TV Studios. Mm-hmm. So, which made sense because you had Paramount Film and Paramount TV Studios, which was they made like the Jack Ryan series and other series. And then you had CBS making TV shows. So like Star Trek's under CBS TV Studios, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was totally redundant. And Paramount's trying to cut $500 million in expenses. So they're like, you guys are all gone. And there's like 2,000 layoffs happening within Paramount over this next year.
Right.
So they're seriously cost cutting. Here's another thing. Don't sue Star Trek fans. How's that? How's that as a way to save money, dumbasses? So...
Right, because the lawyers want their piece. I'm sure they're just begging Skydance.
What's that? They came on a list. The following areas are being cut. First area that was being cut, legal. That was nice. The first area. So I am hoping Lobes and Lobes is getting their butts kicked.
Yeah.
I certainly hope so because I have like no respect for them. Anyway, so that's what I'll say. And I know some haters is watching this right now and say, "Oh, I'm going to send this to Lobes and Lowe." Grow the fuck up. Anyway,
on their personal line, yeah,
get out of here.
Look at what he said.
The thing that I always want to remind people is Star Trek's meant to be fun. Let's not get so caught up in whatever it is that negativity starts flowing out of our love of Star Trek, whatever that is. So, by the way, I see we're up to 51 people, and probably the last 20 people are like, "Oh, why does Alec have a black eye?" Cat injury. We talked about it before earlier in the show, so I'll just we were putting a cat in. The guy who handled the cat totally mishandled it, and I had to grab it, and paws went up. So anyway, but I'm fine. Let's see. Okay. And if the cat has a rabies vaccine, you don't have to worry about rabies. See, if you handle wild animals, you have to handle, and you get something happens, then you got to get inoculated for rabies.
Yeah, I would not want to handle wild animals. Cats are.
But you get the vaccines in advance. All right, let's just see what everyone is saying. Okay, a bunch of people want to talk about Section 31, which I don't have much information on. So the other big news was Paramount cutting out Paramount TV Studios because there were a bunch of people saying, "Well, what about Star Trek? Star Trek's under CBS TV Studios."
Right. Again,
Paramount underneath Paramount is Paramount TV Studios and CBS TV Studios and other things.
That is very redundant.
And MTV Studios, that's another one. So MTV Studios is all the Tyler Sheridan stuff. Tyler Sheridan is Yellowstone and all of its knockoffs. It's what's the series that I watch? mayor of Kingstown. What is the mayor? The one with the Jeremy Renner. That's a Tyler Sheridan show. I just watched Lioness, which was a Tyler Sheridan. That's all under MTV TV studios. So there's lots of little.
I remember when MTV used to show music videos. That goes way back. There are entire generations of people that don't realize
know
that.
1982, I go to visit my ex-girlfriend up in Connecticut, and we go up to her room, and she's like, and I'm like, what's that on her TV? She goes, oh, that's MTV. And I go, MTV? She goes, yeah, music videos. I go, oh yeah, I heard about that. Anyway, so yeah, that was nice. Yeah. Steve Dixon, yeah, Mayor of Kingstown. That's a great show, by the way. Season three was a little repetitive. By the way, I just started season 2 of Halo. Did you watch Halo?
No, I haven't watched Halo.
So never played the video game. So, but science fiction.
Yep.
Everyone knows who Master Chief is. I'm like, okay. 9 episodes. The first 5 are really fucking slow. Really slow.
Really?
And then it picks up. Yeah, the first 5 are a lot of exposition. It's a lot of laying the groundwork and this and that.
I may have to watch this.
All right. And I slogged through it over the past year. And then about 3 weeks ago, I was like, all right, I'm going to go. And the last few episodes have been dynamite. Really good. So I just started episode 2, which I'll watch after I go work out and come back. So so I highly recommend Halo. Stick with it, and you guys will not be disappointed. Let's see. Just looking at some of you guys' comments. So also, if you came in late, Axanar, make sure you check out the Axanar update that Jefferson here.
I'm over here this way. Who knows?
You got to go the opposite way where you are. It's like backing up. Jefferson edited today. It's really good. You're going to get to see some really cool stuff. So there's some really good reveals in there. Check it out. Things are really starting to cook. We're really excited. And also talk to the guy producing Daedalus, and that's going to be coming out in the near future. A lot of good stuff happening. So make sure you stay tuned. The new storefront's going to be live hopefully tomorrow. Yes, I did watch Forward Unto Dawn. Very impressive. I really like that. That was very good.
What's that one about? Who's in that?
That's a Halo film.
Oh, that's Halo film. Okay.
Yeah, it was a Halo film. And then Brian says, hey, did you guys like the extra content in Rebel Moon Director's Cut? I have not seen it.
Okay, what now? You've got my attention. What's this?
Extra content in Rebel Moon Director. I heard there's a director's cut. I'm not sure. I mean, I'll check it out just because I liked Rebel Moon. It was, I think you and I have talked about it.
Yeah, we did. I saw both of those. I thought Rebel Moon was fine. I think I might like the first movie a little more than the second one, but it doesn't mean that I dislike the second one.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty derivative. I mean, there's really nothing. They're not telling some compelling story. You're like, oh wow, that was amazing. Right. It's Seven Samurai. Yeah, we all know that Seven Samurai in space, which we've seen before. Whether it was Battle Beyond the Stars or that magnificent Ferengi, everyone plays with that. I mean, Seven Samurai is a recurring. It's a recurring trope in storytelling because it's such a great story. Right?
Yeah, that story has been told a lot of times. It's been seen a lot of times.
Magnificent Seven is the most famous retelling of the Seven Samurai, right? Seven Samurai is from the 60s, late 50s, I guess it was 60s. And then Magnificent Seven was in the 60s and just freaking brilliant. So Zack Snyder, I think the thing about Zack Snyder is he is just such a magnificent visual storyteller. Mm-hmm. That everything, you can say whatever you want. First of all, good casting. I mean, the girl who's the lead has been in lots of things, including Star Trek Beyond. She's always wonderful. Damon Honshu, I would watch that guy paint a wall white. I mean, that guy is amazing. And and I'm trying to think who else is. I mean, everyone was good in that movie. So the casting is good, and the story's okay. But Zack Snyder, just the guy's got passion. Zack Snyder is like, he all of his movies. You cannot fault any of his movies from what was the one about the girl in the asylum? I forget
that doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, that's the one that all the girls were cosplaying.
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. Yeah, there you go. Sucker Punch. Yeah, exactly. So if you watch Sucker Punch, whatever you think about that movie, it is really visually, it's an amazing movie. I mean, the guy is taking chances. The guy is doing interesting, compelling stuff, and it's really kind of hard to not go, oh wow, that's kind of cool, right? And then and then Watchmen is amazing that way, right? Yeah. Amazing. And the Snyder cut of Justice League,
Snyder cut of Justice League. I was just thinking about that. Yes, it was amazing. It is, when you see the Zack Snyder's Justice League compared to what we got, it is such a travesty, such a shame that things ended up happening the way that they did, that we got the Joss Whedon Justice League instead of Zack Snyder's. If we would have gotten the Zack Snyder Justice League, then we would have gotten the sequel that we all wanted from that. It is a night and day difference between those two cuts. And I would encourage anyone who's got 4 hours or so to spare, watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. It is very good. It's very well worth a watch.
Yeah. And now, and even the other ones, whether it's Superman or Batman versus Superman, look, I don't think that Zack Snyder is not doing The Departed. He's not Martin Scorsese, right? But his movies, he's sticking to pop culture, right? We've got science fiction. We had a zombie movie. We have superhero stuff, right? I mean, it's all pop culture is what he loves, and which is great. God bless him, and he's very good at it, I think.
Yeah.
And so I love Zack Snyder. I really do. In a way, it was kind of like if Michael Bay had not gone down the rabbit hole of Transformers. I mean, there was something to like about Michael Bay, kind of in a guilty pleasure sort of way. Right. But when you look at Michael Bay's movies, of course, I always talk about how Armageddon is my favorite guilty pleasure. I watched that movie, and I watched that movie with a very critical eye, like, oh, look at that shot. Oh, look at that edit. I mean, he's like, his editing, he's clearly on cocaine when he's editing. It's like boom, 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 boom. And all the cameras never stops moving. It's moving all over the place.
Right.
But I like, oh my God, look at what he's doing with that. So I give Michael Bay a lot of credit for that. He did that also, he does that in other movies. In Transformers, it's a different thing. But like in Pearl Harbor, the same thing. Pearl Harbor would have been a much better movie without all the love story. But there's a lot of great stuff in Pearl Harbor too. So I like watching movies where they're visually interesting, where the director is isn't just setting the camera up on sticks and saying, okay, let's go. He's really about using the camera to help tell the story.
Right.
There you go. There's my little soapbox for the night. I will watch the extended cut, the director's cut of Rebel Moon.
I think one of the other things that tends to happen, and this is just in my opinion, I really think that there should be more of an allowance for movies to have the runtime that they need to tell their stories. Because when you see movies like Avengers Endgame, it's about 3 hours. The Batman, that's around 3 hours. And you're thinking, how in the hell is a Batman movie 3 hours? Why would they let that go through? That seems kind of crazy. But it's well worth it. Like, it is, you can't cut that in half and tell the same story, and
No.
it doesn't work. I think there should really be, and it seems like there's kind of more of an allowance for longer runtime of movies. Now, granted, there should never be a 3-hour cut of Armageddon. No Michael Bay movie should be longer than an hour and 40 minutes.
No. His style won't work for a long movie.
Right, exactly. But when you see movies like Endgame or Zack Snyder's Justice League or the director's cut of Watchmen, the Batman, some of these movies, when you see, okay, yes, this movie needed the story to be told, and it took this long to tell it, and that's not a bad thing. That should be allowed to happen. Otherwise, if you try to cut it down just for the sake of, well, we only want to have this runtime because that's what is quote unquote profitable, that's how you get the Justice League that we got in theaters, which was, I thought it was okay, but what we should have gotten, what Zack Snyder's vision was just blew it out of the water.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. The thing, and that was of course when Zack Snyder's daughter passed away, and so he had to leave the project. Well, he chose to leave the project, and God bless him and his family. But so they gave it to Joss Whedon in probably the last movie that Joss Whedon will ever make in Hollywood. Not because of Justice League, just because of his behavior. Right. And so he took it in a very different direction. And and he made it funnier, but when you see this, if you're used to seeing the Whedon cut and then go and see the Snyder cut, you're like, oh my God, yes. Yeah, this makes so much sense. And like you said, it doesn't 4 hours goes really fast.
Yeah.
Because it's so brilliantly executed. And you realize that the Snyder cut is really a story that centers around Cyborg in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And it's a whole different movie.
It is a different movie. It is. So it's good to see. Let's just check. Blade Runner 2049 was almost 4 hours. Was it that long? Whoops. Dustin D says, I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah,
I haven't seen that one yet.
You do need to see Deadpool vs. Wolverine if you haven't seen it already, because it is really fantastic. It's just a lot of, it's a freaking rollicking. It's just fun. It's an adventure movie. It's a comedy. It's a buddy film. It's just great. And really, Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Deadpool's doing Deadpool. But I got to tell you that that Hugh Jackman is just on the top of his game as Wolverine.
He'll be playing that character until he's 90.
He's so good at it. It's like you just keep getting better at that, Yep. And it's so funny to see they've done the montages of him through all the movies. And clearly he was a lot younger when he did the first X-Men.
Oh, yes.
But man, he's good. You talk about how hard it's going to ever be for Marvel to replace Tony, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Man, who the hell are they going to get to replace freaking?
He's going to be employed doing that part until the end of time.
Yeah.
Just like Deadpool said in the movie, until you're 90.
Yeah, until you exactly. So it was fun. I don't know that we'll see it again in the movie theater, but we'll definitely catch it when it's on TV. That was really brilliant. So so of course we now know that that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Dr. Doom.
Yep.
Supposedly not a Tony Stark Dr. Doom. It'll be very interesting to see how they play that. Boy, talk about. I'm sure he's getting another $50 million.
It must be nice to just be able to name your price. Like, okay, this is how much I want to make, and getting that money. Now, I think that the reaching into the well of the multiverse is something that needs to stop soon. That's just not something that is a door that should be left open to keep going back to, and to find ways of relying on the same actors or same characters. I would rather have them pull a Tony Stark from another Earth, another universe, than for them to invalidate the sacrifice that Tony Stark of Earth 616 made in Endgame. And why is it Earth 616 as part of the sacred timeline and not have it be Earth
1, like in the
that's probably not a discussion I want to start here. I'm sure that's a whole other thing. That's just my pet peeve.
I mean, really, Marvel went for the multiverse. Really, I guess in the 90s is when they started really diving into the multiverse. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. So I don't have it. Yeah. So I don't know why it's 616. I think that's hysterical.
Yeah.
So I get what Michael Shanks has become a cat lady. Are they cat fans? Him and his lovely wife Lexa Doig. So yeah. Oh, and Henry Cavill did look great as Wolverine.
He did.
I was like, that's Henry Cavill. Holy shit. I didn't know that there was talk about him. Some talk about him, but no, he looked pretty good.
And wasn't that based on nothing else than just fan talk?
It was.
So that was a big fan talk thing, because I wasn't I was about to spoil part of Deadpool and Wolverine, but I know it's been out for a while, and folks, but I don't want to spoil it. But there's another character that was in there that I feel like, I think I remember this being more of just a fan drawing or fan wish, and that's why this actor is playing.
Oh yeah,
this
that is
character.
Because I asked Crystal about that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, was there? Because I liked that character in, and we'll just say it's Gambit.
Yeah,
I liked Gambit in the Wolverine Origins movie. I liked that guy. I was like, I totally bought him as Gambit. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, why did they choose Channing Tatum? Whatever his name is,
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. I said, what? Did he what? And Crystal's like, no, it was like, and she kind of told me that it was total bullshit, made up, blah blah blah. He was never.
It was like artwork, and they just decided
that's so Deadpool, right? That's so Deadpool. That makes so much sense. So I don't know. Let's see.
I'm not sure I understand this one.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to see a Star Trek movie on another ship, I think you mean. Always being the Enterprise, why do we need to recycle Captain Kirk? Yeah, I don't disagree. This is kind of why Star Trek is an anthology series, right?
Star Trek is more than the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Just like Star Wars is more than the Skywalkers.
Right. Who is that? And who did today I had some wish casting. I was like, oh, who would make a great captain? And it slips my mind who I was thinking of, but I was like, yeah, I would pay to see that guy as captain of a starship.
Right.
And I think there's like that. I think that would be interesting for us to see other things. Well, listen, it's 8:05, and I do need to get going.
All right. Yeah, it's time to enjoy the Friday night, right?
I need to go finish my little exercises, because I don't think I got my 10,000 steps in today. No, we're definitely on the low end of things. So I'm going to be, I've got a good 40 minutes of walking ahead of me. So Let me take care of that. But listen, I want to thank everyone for coming out. I want to thank you, Jefferson, for editing the Axanar update. So I do encourage everyone to go and watch the Axanar update that we just posted, which is on the YouTube channel. You'll see it right there under Axanar updates. It's let's see. Let's see how we're doing so far, how many views we've got already on that. Wow, 585 views already.
Nice. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's good. Doing well. Okay, and we just launched it, so that I'm sure that'll cross 1,000 soon. And there's a lot. I'm gonna have to go back and read I'm gonna have to go and read all the comments. So this is good. But that was a great update. Thanks for doing that,
Yeah.
Jefferson. And then thanks everyone. Make sure stay tuned. I'm really accelerating things. A couple things. Make sure I'm sure all of you have signed up for the newsletter. That's really important. But also, I am putting out right now. I'm doing daily posts on the Patreon campaign. So you should all join the Patreon campaign. You can join for $2. We don't care. I mean, there's $2, $5, $10, $20 levels. Join for $2. I'm posting stuff first there, and I'm posting stuff I don't let go into the public. So join the Patreon campaign, which is currently, it says Aries Studios, but it's technically Aries Productions now. So yeah, check it out, because all this stuff, as we're going along, we're going to be more and more be releasing stuff and giving you sneak peeks and putting things first there, and so on and so forth. So check it out. Go to our Patreon campaign. We would greatly appreciate it. But everyone, listen, Jefferson, have a great weekend.
I will. You too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Everyone out there, if you have any questions, let me know. You should be all be on the email list. Tomorrow's probably the day I'm going to be launching the new site. So come and check it out. I'm going through right now and making sure everything works and changing things, because it's no longer Aries Studios. At Maverick, it's called the Multi Geek. So check it out, and we'll have everything up there. And then we're going to start posting new things on a regular basis. So check things out and enjoy it. And everyone, listen, especially you guys, because so many of you are regulars. I just want to tell you how much we love you and appreciate everything. And I appreciate you all coming out on a regular basis and supporting us. It's so heartwarming to have this little community where you guys all support us. I see Paul just got here. Stern Von Alk. Hey, how are you? So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. We appreciate you helping us and supporting us. And we'll see you Wednesday night for Axanar After Dark, which is just us and the boys chatting. And if you have any questions, you know where to reach us. I hear my dogs going crazy, so
Better get to them. All right, thanks, everyone. Thanks,
everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys soon. Live long and prosper, my friends.